Hey guys, it's Dr. Janice Stewart here with Holistic Sports Medicine in St. Louis, Missouri. And I just wanted to get on real quick as I was finishing up my day. It's actually kind of nighttime. You know how that is. Hours get extended, and your day goes a little bit longer into the night than you wanted to. But I just wanted to get on real quick and talk to you a little bit about shoulder dislocations. Kind of the top 5 things you need to know about shoulder dislocations. I recently had somebody reach out to me that was traveling across the U.S. From West Coast to East Coast, and in their travel, they had an accident where they fell and dislocated their shoulder, and they were seen in the emergency room and they were instructed to follow up with a non-surgical orthopedist, or essentially a sports medicine doctor, in 2 weeks, so that they could get evaluated and make sure that their shoulder was healing okay. And so that kind of prompted me to kind of jump on and let you guys know the top 5 things that we do after a shoulder dislocation. So the first thing that you want to do is immobilize the shoulder. If the shoulder doesn't happen to go back in place on its own after it's initially dislocated. Sometimes that can happen, but a lot of times it stays out on its own. It doesn't go back in. And so you need to be evaluated pretty quickly to get that shoulder back in place. So the first thing you want to do is immobilize it, and then get to an emergency room as soon as you can. Or if you are like at a sporting event, or you're participating in a sporting event, and there's an athletic trainer on the sideline that's experienced with putting a shoulder back in place, or like a sports medicine doctor or an orthopedic surgeon, anybody that's experienced with putting a shoulder back in place, you want to see them and get treatment as soon as you can, because the sooner you can get a shoulder back in place, the easier it is. The longer the shoulder stays out, the muscles start to tighten around the shoulder, and it makes it more challenging to get it back in. So if that's the case, then you definitely need to be seen in an emergency room where you get some sedation to kind of help you calm down and help the muscles relax and make it easier for the shoulder to get back in place. So after you immobilize it and you seek treatment to get the shoulder back in place, you then want to use a sling to kind of help keep your shoulder stable. Sometimes we use a sling and swath, where we wrap something around your body to keep your arm from swinging out away from your body. You want to keep it close to your stomach so that you limit range of motion in the sling. After the shoulder is back in place, you definitely want to ice it to help control the swelling. So we usually recommend icing for 20 minutes every 2 to 3 hours during the first 24 to 48 hours, because that's when you get the most swelling. And then after that, you can just ice as needed, and then take medication for the pain. So whether that's anti-inflammatory medications, Tylenol, or any prescription medications that you are given in the ER or by your doctor, take those to help relieve the pain. Once that shoulder is in the sling, you want to limit the motion for at least 2 weeks, because within the first 2 weeks after a shoulder dislocation, it's really easy for the shoulder to come back out because all the muscles are loose, you have a lot of swelling, and that can make it easier for the shoulder to come out if you move it too much. But definitely want to limit your motion within the first 2 weeks. After 2 weeks, you want to follow up with your sports medicine doctor again to make sure it's safe to get out of the sling and start moving your shoulder. If it feels stable enough and the pain has improved enough, then your doctor will recommend you start doing small exercises to start range of motion. So these could be pendulum exercises, where you're leaning over at the waist and doing small and large circles forward and backwards. You can walk your arm kind of up the wall to the point of discomfort. And then they'll also refer you to physical therapy so that they can help you get your shoulder moving again. They can help strengthen the muscles around the shoulder. And then once you have your full range of motion and strength back, then you can get back to your regular activities. And this typically occurs about 6 to 8 weeks. If you don't start moving the shoulder as soon as you can and as soon as pain allows, and with approval by your doctor, you can end up with what's called a frozen shoulder, where you can't move your shoulder at all. And then that's a whole nother issue that has to be addressed. Sometimes when you dislocate the shoulder, you can get small fractures, which typically don't necessarily need surgery. They usually heal with time in the sling within the first 2 weeks that you have it immobilized, and then over the next 6 to 8 weeks as you're doing your physical therapy. If it's a larger fracture or a displaced fracture, then we typically refer you to an orthopedic surgeon to discuss surgery to stabilize the fracture. Sometimes you can also tear your rotator cuff, which are the tendons of the muscles that help stabilize the shoulder. And sometimes you can tear the labrum in your shoulder, which is the cartilage in the shoulder that helps keep the ball in the socket. So as that shoulder dislocates, you can get a fracture, tear your rotator cuff, and or get a tear in the labrum. So after you've done your physical therapy for 6 to 8 weeks, if you feel continuing pain or worsening pain that's waking you up at night, weakness, numbness, or tingling, or you feel your shoulder kind of slipping, wanting to slip out of place and it goes back in, or you have recurrent dislocations, then these are all reasons to get further imaging and potentially see an orthopedic surgeon for surgical intervention. So I hope this is helpful for you. First of all, I hope you don't ever dislocate your shoulder. But if you do, these are the top 5 things that we recommend right away. Immobilizing the shoulder, seeking treatment as soon as you can to get the shoulder back in place, using a sling, limit your range of motion, and then after you have been approved to start moving your shoulder, get some physical therapy to help everything heal. If you find these tips helpful, definitely give me a like and follow on Facebook and Instagram at Holistic Sports Medicine. Please like and follow and share my videos on my YouTube channel, Janice Stewart MD. You can also find me on Twitter at Holistic STL. If you ever need to reach me, you can always give me a call at 314-257-0060. Hope you guys had a great Wednesday and have a great rest of your week, and I will talk to you again soon. Take care. Bye-bye.